Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC on Fox. Poirier versus Alvarez 2. This was an overall pretty good card. There's maybe a couple boring matches on here, but nothing to make a big fuss about. I mean, when you have 13 fights, you're going to have one or two duds, but yeah, I mean, some rare occasions you'll have no duds, but I mean, it's very hard to pull that off. Anyhow, I went 8-5 on my picks. I was shocked because I wasn't keeping tabs as I was watching it, and then I noticed that I just did bad on the main card on my picks. I went 1-3 on the main card, but then I killed it on the prelims. Anyhow, so it's a post-fight rundown on the main card. Let's get started. In the lightweight division, in the main event, we had Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus former UFC lightweight champ Eddie Alvarez. This went second round TKO punches and elbow win for Dustin. He looked great in this fight. Alvarez would not give up, though. He's a warrior, and it took a lot for him to finally be finished, and I give props to Eddie Alvarez in this fight. Dustin, he was determined to prove that he should have won the first fight. This was a good rematch. It definitely made sense. You know, some argue this could have happened sooner, but nonetheless, I think it was overall the right time for this fight to happen. Dustin definitely is in the title mix, definitely for sure at this point. Looks like we're gonna have to wait and see Conor and Habib duke it out, and then maybe Dustin wait in the wing for the winner of that, or fight another fight and then get a title shot. Anyways, so it'll be interesting to see, because what if Conor wins the belt back and then just wants to retire, and then are we going to see maybe Habib and Dustin fight for a vacant title? You know, so because, you know, Conor's been obviously very inactive even before his legal issue. And some are questioning how much more does Conor want to fight. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out storyline wise. Then in the featherweight division, we had Jose Aldo Jr. against Jeremy Stephens. Now, Jeremy Stephens, I picked him to win by knockout in this fight. I was not expecting this. It was a first round knockout towards the tail end of the first round win for Jose. Yeah, it was TKO punches, and I just did not see that body shot coming on Jeremy Stephens. Yeah, Jose timed his striking perfect and rocked him with a body shot, and then capitalized and finished the fight. And Aldo needed a big win. He got a big win. And now the big question is, where does he go from here? Because you got Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway, and if Max Holloway wins, he's already beat Aldo twice. And then, you know, if Brian Ortega wins, since Max Holloway has been such a dominant champ, will he get immediate rematch against, if Ortega wins, will Holloway get immediate rematch? And then where does that put Aldo? So yeah, Aldo may have to win another match. We'll see. I would like to see Aldo win another match just to see where he's at, to make sure that this win wasn't just a one-off fluke win, that he's truly back before he gets a title shot. Anyhow, looks like Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway is the match that's for that 145-pound strap as we speak for the time being. So yeah, Aldo definitely is back on track, though, and up there in the rankings, and definitely in title contention after this big win. Then in the women's strawweight division, we have Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Tecia Torres. This was a nail-biter because it was a clinch fest against the cage, and Tecia would get the better of the clinching against the cage, and then Joanna would, and then it would go back and forth. But Joanna was landing some good strikes in the clinch in that first round. Then in the second and third round, Joanna was able to find her range and land some heavy shots, and a little bit better at keeping Tecia Torres at bay. Batista hung in there, and yeah, that first round could have been made. Some people argued it could have gone either way, but the round 2 and 3 were definitely Joanna. Anyhow, so Joanna definitely is back on track with a win here. She needed this win, just like Aldo did in his weight class. Yeah, Joanna needed this win to stay relevant in the strawweight division. And if she, so yeah, I'm excited to see how this whole thing plays out, because I'm still convinced that Joanna won the rematch against Rose, and that was a robbery. The judges got it wrong. Will the UFC give Joanna a third shot at Rose for the belt? So we'll see. Then in the lightweight division, we have Alexander Hernandez versus Olivier Aubin Mercier. And I was very impressed with Alexander's wrestling in this, how he was able to out-grapple Olivier. Olivier is an amazing athlete. He's a specimen. He's one of the best Canadian lightweights in the UFC. And for Alexander to get dominant positions on him pretty much every round, yeah, it was pretty much 30-27 and 29-28 and 29-28. I would say, yeah, maybe Olivier won a round, if that. But yeah, the judges got it right. Alexander just outclassed and dominant positions, out-wrestled, out-grappled Olivier. And I can't wait to see how Alexander plays in this lightweight division now. Yeah, give him a top 6 through 10, like you mentioned. Anyhow, that wraps up the post-fight show for this. This was an overall pretty good card. The Ian Cutelaba fight, that was probably my favorite fight on the card. Watch replay on that one. That was exciting. And also the Dustin Ortiz knockout was pretty crazy. And then the Devin Powell knockout was pretty crazy too. Anyways, so that wraps up my post-fight show. Those knockouts were on the prelims, and that wraps up my post-fight show for this card. Stay tuned in the coming days for my pre-fight for UFC 227. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw for the UFC Bantamweight titles, the main event. And until then, see ya.